Okay, traders, welcome back to episode 24. So I'm just going to show you the components, what lets me gauge the risk on or risk on environment. So I'm going to walk through each one. So here we can see we've got the VIX. So the VIX is also known as the fair index or the volatility index. So when the VIX is high, so as you can see, when the VIX has those spikes up, what's usually followed is a crash in the market. So the VIX, when it's low and there's low volatility in the market, that's when the stock market is going bullish. When the VIX rallies up, the stock market takes a pullback. So it's just used for understanding the market sensitivity to uncertainty as well. So you may see a rally up on this VIX because we're coming right back down to those 10.9, 8.6 lows. And as you see historically, when we get down to these levels of volatility in the VIX, we do start to see a push higher. So the volatility is at lows right now and the stock market's still pushing up. So it looks like we may have a turn in the market soon. The next thing you can have a look at is our gold and silver ratio. So a contracting economy usually decreases the industrial demand for silver, while gold tends to keep its value as a monetary asset. So if we're in a risk on environment, the ratio is down. So the gold and silver ratio will be falling. If we're in a risk off environment, it will be going up. So you can see right now we're in a risk off because we've had this, for me, we've had this pullback, we've had this market consolidation here, but then we've got this series of higher highs and higher lows. So for me now, we're in a risk off environment, and I do think gold silver ratio will continue to rise. So again, as a result of this ratio, when it's going up during risk aversion and it falls during times of risk appetite. So when traders want to avoid risk, you'll see this falling, and then you'll see the likes of UJ going up and all the other kind of risk on risk off indicators that I've mentioned previously. So that's how I use this ratio with gold and silver. So I do think you can see we're going to push higher, so that's letting me know we're going risk off. The next thing you can use also is this Vanguard. So the Vanguard is basically the government treasuries. They don't pay a lot of interest, but they're considered to be the ultimate safe haven. So it's risk on if this is going down. So when this is going down, it's a risk on. When this is going up, it's a risk off because it's not a risky asset. So you can see it's been rallying. We've had this sequence here, and you may as well say we've got this low here. Just say, yeah, we've got this low like this. So for me, this is more of a compression pattern. So when you're putting this into regards of what we're looking at, this to me looks like we're gonna break out higher. So that's telling me that we're not finished with our risk on, with our risk off. We're gonna have further risk off. So if we break out of here, gold for me is going to be going higher with this. Yen is going to get a lot stronger. So we're looking like we are going to have a breakout, and we're going to see further risk off environment. So what else is there that we can have a look at? We've got the Dow Jones as well. So with the Dow Jones, like I went over previously, so it's just a rise in the stock market usually predicts investors are anticipating falling interest rates because big companies, they are obviously borrowing a lot of money, so their profits are enhanced by lower interest rates. So if it's risk on, it's more risk on when the Dow Jones is going down, and it's more risk off if it's going up. So the Dow differs slightly from the others. So it differs quite slightly because of the nature of the businesses comprised in the Dow. What else is there that we could have a look at? Bring it back to currency, New Zealand yen. So to give you a bit more explanation, so the yen can give you an insight into risk appetite. So when risk is rising, investors usually have a problem with UJ because UJ is more, US dollar yen is more concerned with overall strength and weakness in the dollar, and then the yen acts off that. But that's why it can give you mixed signal. But when you're looking at the New Zealand yen, the New Zealand is a high yielding currency, as mentioned before, and it serves as a proxy for high yielding instruments. Another benefit of looking at New Zealand yen is that New Zealand and yen, they've got the largest difference in interest rates. So it can give you a good example of how markets should be moving in terms of risk on, risk off. So if New Zealand yen is going up, we're in a risk on environment, and if New Zealand yen is going down, then we're in a risk off environment. What else is there that you could have a look at? We've also got, so I'm just trying to go through each one. We've got, yeah, we've also got copper. Copper's a good one as well. So with copper, copper is also another measurement of economic health. It's the world's third most used metal after iron and aluminium. So it's primarily used in construction. So copper is mainly considered an indicator for bond prices. So yeah, it's mostly an indicator for bond prices and utilities. They both tend to fall when copper rises. A rise in copper invites that there's a risk on. So markets are turning into risky assets. When you see a rise in copper, we're in risky assets. Right now, what are we seeing? We've seen a decline in copper. So if copper's going up, then that means overall it's risk on. If copper goes down, it means that it's risk off. And you can see right now, we look like, as when we came into January, we've been slowly unwinding risk. So it looks like we're entering further risk off. What else is there that we can touch on? That's gonna make the most sense. We've got, yeah, we can have a look at the DBB area. So we've got the DBB. So this is power shares, base metal futures. So industrial metals like aluminium and copper are sensitive to economic trends. So normally if the DBD is up, it's risk on, and if the DBD is down, it's risk off. So you can see they all slightly vary, but right now we do look like this is starting to drop. So again, it's adding confluence to our risk off. It's adding further confluence to our risk off. We've also got the HYG. So this is basically US dollar high yielding corporate bonds. So when this is going up, it's a risk on, and when this is going down, it's a risk off. So this is another way to kind of gauge the market when you're looking at corporate bonds. At times of uncertainty and a higher probability of default globally, yields are pushed higher to compensate for the risk of default, and so the bonds decreases. Remember, yields and price go the opposite way, suggesting rising risk aversion. So when investors accumulate confidence in purchasing higher yielding assets, which are riskier, that intensifies their risk appetite, and that's going to get shown in the rising yield bond prices. So if this goes up, it's more of a risk on, and this starts to drop, it's more of a risk off. So when we're looking at this, we can see we've just started to see some sort of pullback candle there, but overall right now we look like we are going to be reaching a strong level of resistance. So overall, the point I'm trying to make when I'm going through this risk on and risk off is that when you're looking at all of them, more often than not, they're going to show you whether or not overall are we more risk on or are we more risk off. And then it's your job as a trader to now connect the dots. So like I said, if the gold ratio is starting to fall, we're seeing the bond market in regards to the stocks, the Vanguard, the yields, the other investments that are open to investors. So we can see how big players in the market are positioning capital in the form of currencies, in the form of the stock market, in the form of gold and silver, in industrials like copper, in the actual volatility and fair index. So it lets you paint a big picture to understand overall. So say there's, right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 indicators. So say out of those 16 indicators, 10 or 11 of them, so say the majority of them is pointing to a risk on or a risk off, via that be fundamentally or technically, then that increases your likelihood in probability when you come back to major currency pairs. So if you see overall we're looking like we're going to go into a risk off environment, and we see, for example, like here, we see a risk off environment. When we look at this, we see New Zealand dollar approaching 0.675, and right now the market does what? It looks like we're going to enter a risk off environment. So if we're entering a risk off environment, we're going to be selling New Zealand and buying the dollar, which means we're going to see now a decrease. We're going to see now New Zealand dollar decrease as the risk aversion continues to pick up. We're going away from risk. Then we're going to look through. The stock market should be continuing to fall. The VIX should be continuing to rise the VIX should be continuing to rise. The gold and silver should be continuing to rise, so you can have a knock-on effect and look across a number of instruments to gauge a better picture, or just get more clarity. Again, like trading, everything's about confluence. So you're going to be able to get more confluence once you understand what it is that we need to see happening on the majority of things, because not everything is going to be going the same direction, because there's degrees to risk on and risk off. There's different severities. So if the market are completely scared, obviously we're going to be going into gold, but we may be unwinding a little bit out of the stock market. So you can't have one indication as the be all and end all. It has to be a collection, which then lets you understand the overall sentiment for risk, and then that's going to be the safest way for you to make a highly probable decision on where to now place trades, what currency to place trades against what currency, which setup is the best and can align with the technicals. So I'm going to continue to talk about this as we go over, but stay tuned for the next episode.